Hey guys, January 30. I'm just now getting onto the camera because I had an appointment this morning with the HVAC guy. First of all, I went underneath the house from yesterday and fixed that plastic. Cut it, put it down the way I wanted it. And then I've had this problem with this door not closing. And I don't think it's going to make a difference, but one thing I see is that this hinge is not sunk into here. So this hinge is poked out some. See, the hinge should be submerged in there, at least come even, which all of them are. But this one, the hinge is actually poked out. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my oscillating tool and shimming this down some so that this will sink in further. And this is like the main point at where the door is hitting. You can see it actually. It's rubbing right here, here, here. I don't think this is going to be, even if I get it fixed, it's not going to be enough to pull it in so that this stops sticking or so that I can close it, but it still needs to be done a little bit. It could be in the long run one of the little things that needs to be fixed. Also, I went through and just had a HVAC company come in and give me a quote about a mini split and 2 mini splits, and they are about $2,600 or $2,800 more than another quote that I got. That's why it's important to get several quotes. Sometimes it doesn't all work out. Sometimes you can't get another person out. Sometimes the first guy gives you a quote and it just feels right and you're like, I'll take that. Sometimes, same thing with the road. I had a quote, $17,000 after I had cut all the trees and cleared it all, for them to cut the rest of it in and finish it off and pull the trees out, which that was the biggest thing. Then I get a guy quotes me only $5,000. $5,000, and then I pay for the crusher run. And the crusher run ended up costing me, I think, around $1,800, $2,000. So $7,000 versus $17,000. So it's crazy how you get vast differences. Same thing here. I mean, over $2,000, that's a big difference. And the guy who gave me the first quote actually lives on my road. So he told me if something goes wrong with it ever, I'm just down the street and call me. And he's certified and everything, so I think I'm going to be going with that guy. All right, let's get back to work. I'm going to keep working on this thing. I was using this blade because I couldn't find one of these blades. This blade is too wide. And I don't know why the blades are like, they're both wood. They're both for wood. But this blade looks a little different than this blade. This one's a more thicker one. The teeth are longer. I don't know. I think the bigger the tooth, the rougher the cut probably. But I wanted it a little bit narrower because I was hitting the hinge when I was working. I'm slowly getting there, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go any deeper. So I don't know if I'm making a difference or not, or if I'm ruining the door. I don't know why it's not. One thing I did do is this was hitting down here and it wasn't even going in at all. So now it's a little bit better, but I don't think it's going to pull in anymore. All right, that's better for sure. That's almost sunk completely in now. In fact, it's getting too deep here. But I feel like I need to go still. I don't want to see it on the other side of the door too much cut, but I need to go in a little bit more on this side. Okay guys, I'm actually kind of shocked. It actually worked enough to pull this in. I don't know how. I mean, it's still really tight, but now it goes. It's actually a little bit loosey. I don't know why. And one thing I did a little bit wrong, hopefully we're not going to see it, but I cut a little too much right here, unfortunately. But I think once we stain this, I could actually fill in a little bit of maybe wood putty or something right there. I don't know. I wished I wouldn't have done that, but I felt like when I was doing it that it needed to pool more. Anyway, I'm really shocked that actually closed because I couldn't get it closed a while ago before I started. That's what usually happens right there. But give it a little oomph, and now it's going. We got some playing around to do with this, I think. Not really liking what's happening there, but I do think the humidity and the temperatures are causing things a little bit messing around too. Maybe it's just going to be an ongoing problem. We haven't had rain for a bit, but it's been very wet inside. I don't know if I mentioned yesterday, I think I did. So I'm in the house today. I'm not really going to do anything, even though no drywallers are here. They said it all needs to dry for a day before they can sand it. I think a day. I don't know. We'll see if they're back out here tomorrow or not. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully they'll fix it up and make it look good. And then I'll need to clean all inside. The plan is to clean everything inside really well. And then, see, I don't like this. What if the baseboard I wanted is not that tall? That's not going to hide that. They didn't put anything in there. I don't know if they just missed that or what. Well, they didn't do it over there either. I don't know. Hopefully, I know Valentina wants higher baseboard, so it'll probably be covered up. But anyway, all right, back to work. All right, guys, this may or may not be the day, but I'm going to start, see how far I get. Going to measure out 10 feet and see what's my drop. I'm going to do it somewhere like this corner here and then down to maybe this post, but there's so much drywall garbage they got to take away, and I got all this stuff down here, so I'll deal with that later. But at least maybe up to this post, see what my drop is, and see exactly where 10 feet is as well. Right, guys, this is why I don't trust my eye anymore. I learned this when I was grading land and stuff. You look at something and it looks like you're okay, but basically I cleared everything off of here. I marked 10 feet out, and then I did a stake and a stake out at 10 feet, strung it and put a string level on it, and basically what I'm at right now is flat, pretty close to just flat, not a 6-inch drop. So while nobody's here, I'm going to try to come in here and get me 6 inches down through here and give that a shot. I've done it a lot, many times. I keep digging and digging, but maybe I can get that 6 inches down. And then the idea, what I was telling you guys the other day, is at 6 feet, or at the 10-foot mark, we're going to put a retaining wall. So all the water that's coming off of here will hit it and go here instead of coming into our yard, because a lot of water comes down through here. A lot of water falls in here and sits. A lot of water comes off the roof. So we have to do a lot of, this place really likes to hold water and carries a lot of water coming down the hill. So gutters eventually, something that keeps this from sopping up, and then retaining wall. We'll get it over time, but it is what it is for now. Just keep on working at it. Alright guys, I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I have not even researched this. I don't even really know how I would research it, but to do a proper way. Anyway, 10 feet, 6-inch drop. So what I did was put a stake at this end, put the string to the ground basically, then put another stake out. This is actually more than 10 feet. Tied it nice and taut, and I have the string level here. It's not perfect, but it's close. And this sagged a little bit after I released it, but I checked it while it was really taut. So what I measure right now out here is somewhere between 8 and 9 inches, and it only needs to be 6. That's kind of what I wanted. I want a little bit more than 6. That way they can't question it or it be too close. Plus it gives me a little sunk in, just a couple inches to put the retaining wall. So now that I know kind of where that's at. In fact, I think I need to go up past this stake now and dig down and keep this like a 10-inch or a 10-foot kind of circle thing there to get that all down to about this level. Then once I do that and get this where I want it, clear up to about here, I'll back the tractor out and then come back it in down here because I can't turn around, it's too narrow. And then I'll start working my way that way and checking. I think I might already be 6 inches on some of these spots, but anyway, I want it to be about the same all the way so that my retaining wall will be even. Alright, we're getting there. Alright, I dug so much that I piled up so much dirt along this edge and over there that I took the tractor, I pulled it back off the sides, and now I'm scooping it, and I'm taking it down here to where I didn't have much of a roadway left, and just spreading it a little bit so it's not quite as scary or dangerous to go down this little road here. Alright guys, I turned this beast around to start doing this direction, and I measured out okay on every one of these. I've measured about 4 times down this direction, even up underneath the porch and out. Now over here it's more of an 8 in general, an 8 to 9 inch drop. Over there was more of a 7 to 8 inch drop, which is great. I think I don't have my box scraper on. If I had my box scraper on, I could do a little bit better and make this more smooth and even. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to have either gravel, which I hate, I don't like gravel, or wood chips or some kind of a ground cover to go here, and that would make it all look nice and smooth, and this would still be higher than this point. It's just there's some bumps in the road here, and it's really hard. I mean, I can bring a rake over maybe and really try to smooth things out, but this is clay mud stuff. It's hard to smooth it out perfectly. But anyway, I think I'm done with this for now. Like I got my drop. I'm not going to play around with this too much, and it's actually sprinkled a little bit here and there today. Little spitting going on up the hill. They said it's sprinkling more. I don't think it's going to drop today, but it's 75% chance of rain tomorrow. So this may become a mud pit tomorrow again. I don't know if it's how much it's going to rain. But anyway, I have wood chips here I can throw on it. So that's not going to do much. Yeah, anyway, I got it's at least got my 6-inch drop now, or more. It's mostly somewhere between 7 and 9-inch drop. So good. And then the next time Valentina's out here, we can kind of, maybe not the next time, one of the next few times she's out here, establish a starting point with those blocks I got over there and start going, at least do a short run here so we know what we're doing and what it's going to look like, and then I can cut into the dirt however I want. I think what's going to happen is this is going to start here, and this is going to be, could be as high 4 or 5 high, maybe even more, I don't know. And then as we work our way down to nothing, those blocks will get shorter and shorter. So, and then we got that, all those pavers Valentina wanted, she wants to put those on top, so it'll be a smooth top. Should look good. Guys, I don't know if you remember me planting an orchard not too long ago, and I still have all this compost left over. So today I have time, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few skips down there and just put them around each tree so it highlights the tree, and then at the same time it also will have some nutrients to soak down into the ground from the top. So that's the plan. Just give me some, maybe, I don't know how many skips it'll take, maybe a couple, just to get a little bit around. And supposedly, like I said, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Maybe that'll help it seep in. But it's just a way of me starting to get rid of it a little bit. Basically, you're going to just put a little bit around each tree. Something like that, and I think I might just go down one side and then come back up the other. Just keep stopping at every tree and get out. You guys, something exciting. I don't know if you can see that, but there's little buds on this tree, and I went down the other side first and decided that was my first one to have buds, but that one directly across, they look similar. Little tiny trees doing something there. So that's kind of cool to see that. The first ones I've seen so far. I already did this whole side, and that's the only one that had something going on. Now I'm starting this side. And it so happens this one right across from it also had buds. And these trees pretty much at this end, I don't know what they are. They didn't have tags on them, and what we had written had faded and stuff, so it'll be a surprise. See what comes up. I just picked this tag up off the ground. It was off. It's a little bit concerning. It looks like animals are tearing it off thinking it's fruit. Part of the tag is right here. But anyway, I thought that was kind of telling me what I'm facing in the future. So we'll have to figure out some solution to keep the whatever that is eating it off. I do have those shiny flickery things to tie onto trees and fences that keep birds off a lot of the time, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to show you that's giving me hope. I don't know, looks like possibility of the beginnings of something there. Well guys, I think I'm going to be done for the day. I'm kind of running out of important things to do. Hopefully drywall guy will be here tomorrow and finish up. Alright guys, I will see you the next time I'm out here.